phones, tablets, TVs, platforms, social media, bullying. Today, I'm going to be sharing information with you on how technology and social media affects our lives. In my own experience, I've been in the situation where I was so worried about how people were going to judge me and criticize me to the point I never ended up posting on social media, or I only ended up posting very little on social media. With these, I have learned that there are pros and cons to social media, and knowing all the cons to social media can help your experience become better on those platforms as well in your daily life. My sources are books, journals, and articles. I'm going to be talking about kids, teens, and social media. Young kids in the early 2000s had all this new technology all around them, but there was some limitations to it for multiple reasons. The main ones are financial reasons. Parents didn't really know much about it, and there's limitations on how it could be used even. Although they had all this new technology that kids could learn and explore inside at home, kids would rather go play outside with their friends than stay at home on an electronic device. In the early 2000s, it was the start of some of the well-known social media platforms like MySpace, Facebook, and Twitter. During this time, it didn't really affect the young kids at the time. The most main reason is that parents didn't really give their kids phones, tablets, or electronics. They normally got them around the ages of 8 or older, depending on what the device was. And if they did have them, they normally had restrictions on what they could see on them, as well as restrictions on how long they could be on them before they had to get off and go do something new that did not involve electronics. Kids nowadays are so much more surrounded with technology, all just by a click of a button. Kids nowadays are given devices like a phone at the age of 8 months. With kids getting electronic devices so young, it's feeding into their addiction more now than ever. With all these new devices and video games that are given to kids, their social lives are slowly becoming non-existent anymore. Now that social technology can be used by a small device that can fit in our pockets, it affects people now more than ever. With kids starting social media so young, it makes them more prone to being bullied as well as changing themselves to get the approval of other people. With all of this starting at such a young age, it makes it harder for them as well to become teenagers. Moving on to teenagers. With technology still being new in the early 2000s, it was still limited. It made it a lot harder for teenagers to all have it as well. But they did have it more than most kids did in the early 2000s. With more teens having it, it became the start of bullying on social media. Social media was such a big thing for teens because it gave them the new area of being able to meet people all over the world just by being on a device and not even having to move at all. Social media started as a cool thing to start following your friends and posting photos of whatever you did that day, which then quickly turned into the reality it is today of fake friends. Teens nowadays are able to post on social media super easily. Social media nowadays is like a triangle diagram, I would say, where the people on the top of the diagram are your popular people, also known nowadays as your influencers. If they say something cool or if they do something, it becomes trendy. While the second layer are your people who post just as much as they do, but they don't have a blue check mark by their name. While lastly, the last layer is everyone else who is on social media. Social media nowadays has affected people in so many negative ways that it has given people a false sense of reality and safety. What I mean by this is that people will tend to say more stuff on social media and on the internet, like bullying each other, than they would if they were face to face with the same exact scenario. Social media and electronics have become such a big part of people's lives that if they ended up just disappearing or stopped working at all, most people would start to freak out because for some people, social media is a big part of their lives. Moving on to social media. Social media at the time of the 2000s was small enough that it actually didn't really make that much of an impact on the world quite yet. It was rapidly changing and working more and more people getting it over the time. Starting with teens having it and adults slowly getting it, it got to a point that it was growing so much and how it is nowadays in this world. Social media nowadays is so different compared to how it was in the past. There are so many different types of apps depending on what you want. Like videos, if you want a video, you have YouTube. If you want short reels, you have TikToks. If you want posts, you have Instagram, and so many other apps. I don't know why I keep trying to put it in a word. So many other apps that there are meant for different reasons, depending on what you want to do. Social media is growing, and the bullying isn't going to stop. These are the effects of social media in our lives. Kids, teens, social media, phones, tablets, TVs, platforms, social media, bullying. When posting on social media, post with purpose, not for approval of others.